Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I am Chef Marcus Giuliano, and I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is nutrition, and really specifically quinoa. Quinoa, people have grown to love quinoa. It's originally from South America, and the majority of production still is from South America, but it's called the mother grain. It's a very nutritious grain that a lot of people are really hip on, a lot of restaurants are hip on. We just recently went to a organic natural food show, and the theme, the unofficial theme, was quinoa, wasn't it, Jamie?
Yes, there were tons and tons of quinoa.
Quinoa was everywhere, and people are making quinoa crackers, quinoa pasta, quinoa this, quinoa that, and just selling plain quinoa. And it was really amazing to see all of this quinoa, and it wasn't really the official theme, it was the unofficial theme. I was joking around with a lot of the quinoa people there. Like, wow, the quinoa is just blown up, and everybody agrees. So, most quinoa comes from, like I said, South America. It grows high in the Andes Mountains, and is a really, really complete grain with tons of vitamins, minerals, and protein. Back in the early 80s, Gary Null did what he called the Egg Project, where he tried to figure out what food out there would have equal nutrition to an egg, because an egg supposedly has a lot of nutrition, of course, to nurture a baby chicken. So through his findings of hundreds of different foods and going through research, he found out that quinoa not only met, but far surpassed the nutritional value of an egg. So it was called the Egg Project, and the quinoa was a shining star of Gary Null's Egg Project. Now, at my restaurant, we buy quinoa from a place called White Mountain Farms in Mosca, Colorado. M-O-S-C-A, Mosca, Colorado. There's not many American quinoa producers out there. In fact, White Mountain Farms, Paul and Ernie New, were the pioneers in the quinoa industry in America. They've had quinoa on their farm since, I believe, 1979 or 1983. Don't quote me, but it's one of those two dates. It's been since about 1980. And I've been on the farm about 4 or 5 times. The neat thing about quinoa is it grows in high elevations, which is why the Andes Mountains is perfect for it. It has a very short growing season, so they have to be picking the quinoa by the end of August. Now in Colorado, at 8,000 feet, you're getting frost at the end of August. I've been there, I've seen that, I've woken up to frost at that kind of elevation. So, the other neat thing about quinoa is that because it's high elevation and because it's a short growing season, in June, first week in June, second week in June, you can actually eat the quinoa leaves like spinach. A little tougher than spinach, but you can cook them or you can put them in a salad. Not many people know that, but quinoa leaves are also very nutritious and, of course, very rare to get because they're not shipping fresh quinoa leaves from South America, but I've had the pleasure of having quinoa leaves when I was in Colorado from White Mountain Farms, so that's pretty cool about quinoa as well. So as I was talking to all of these people, these quinoa producers, I was telling them about where I source my quinoa from. They're like, oh, that's so neat, you're buying American, because not one of them there. I asked every single, there must have been 10 to 15 quinoa suppliers or keep them using quinoa in their products. Not one single one of them was using American quinoa. They were all buying imported quinoa. And when I told them what I was paying for American quinoa for a 25-pounder bag from White Mountain Farms, they were like, how can you afford to pay that much? And I said, how can I not? I'm supporting an American farm. I've been there. I know the people. I have a relationship. And it's American. And every one of them was just like, wow, we could never afford to spend that much money on quinoa, what you're paying for quinoa. So that kind of made me feel proud, because I like, I pride myself in buying better ingredients and building better relationships. And sure, I could save money on quinoa and buy it from United Natural Foods or through any other vendor and probably save almost about half the amount of money. But of course, for me, I've been on the farm. Jamie and I have been on the farm. Jamie was on the farm when she was pregnant with Courtney. There's pictures of us out there on the farm with the quinoa right up to us. That stuff is priceless. It's really priceless. And as a chef, for me, that means a lot. And I hope to my customers that means a lot too. That I actually do the research and go on the farms and do all that kind of stuff. Because that's the I don't want to say that's the only fun part of my job, but that's really one of the fun parts of my job. When I'm out in the field researching, whether it's on a farm, a winery, a brewery, just meeting people that are actually producing the food. That's a really, really fun part of my job. For years, I always thought, running a restaurant was having a happy customer sitting at the table, and that's such an important part. But when you can go to the other side and have happy farmers, happy suppliers, happy producers, that really makes the whole thing go in a circle. So American quinoa, I'm proud to serve it from White Mountain Farms. It's whitemountainfarm.com. You can look it up. They're really great culinary new. They also do awesome potatoes. They do tons and tons of heirloom varietal potatoes. And they'll actually send you a basket of heirloom potatoes. It's really, really cool. So I'm Chef Marcus Julian. I'm a chef on a mission. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, pass it on, share it. Thank you very much.